Welcome to our deep dive on discovering your purpose.
Ooh, I like that.
We'll be exploring the purpose-driven life today.
A classic.
It suggests a fascinating shift in perspective.
Oh.
Instead of searching within ourselves for answers, it proposes that our purpose comes from understanding the intentions of a higher power.
So rather than just looking inward, we should look outward.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's almost as if we're handed this incredibly complex gadget, our lives, without an instruction manual.
But this book suggests the manual does exist.
Right.
And understanding it is key to unlocking the purpose of our existence.
It's a really intriguing way to look at it.
It is.
So where do we find this so-called instruction manual?
Well, the purpose-driven life points us to the Bible.
Got it.
It suggests that by understanding its teachings, we can gain a clearer picture of our purpose.
Makes sense.
And it goes even deeper by outlining 5 core purposes.
5 purposes.
Yes, that this higher power has for each of us.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
Where do we even begin?
The first purpose is that we were planned for a higher power's pleasure.
So it's not about earning favor or anything like that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about understanding what brings joy to this higher power and aligning our lives with that.
So how do we do that?
The book explains that it's not about grand gestures or being perfect.
Okay.
It's about cultivating a deep and genuine love for this higher power, placing our trust in a plan beyond our own.
I like that.
Choosing obedience, expressing gratitude, and using our unique talents to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
Those are some powerful concepts.
They are?
It's a beautiful idea, but it can feel a little abstract.
I understand.
Do you have any examples of what this looks like in practice?
The book uses the story of Noah.
Oh yeah, Noah's Ark.
Exactly. He found favor by consistently following guidance.
It's a reminder that even seemingly ordinary actions can be infused with purpose.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
And what's the second purpose?
It emphasizes the importance of connection and belonging. Well, that's nice. It reminds us that we were formed for community.
We're not meant to be alone.
Exactly.
We're designed to experience life together, to support and encourage each other.
It's like we're all pieces of a larger puzzle,
I love that analogy.
each with a unique role to play.
And we're stronger and more complete when we come together.
Precisely.
This resonates with me deeply.
Me too.
What about the third purpose?
The third purpose focuses on personal growth and transformation.
Becoming better versions of ourselves.
Yes, it suggests that we were created to become more like the divine.
I could see how this might be misinterpreted,
Oh, how so?
like trying to erase our individuality or force us into a mold.
Right.
But that's not what this is about, right?
They're absolutely right.
Phew. Okay, good.
It's not about losing ourselves, but about refining our character,
Huh?
becoming more compassionate, understanding, and selfless.
So less about conforming and more about evolving into our most authentic selves.
It's an ongoing process of aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with our highest ideals.
And that can be challenging,
It can.
especially when we make mistakes.
But those mistakes are opportunities for growth.
That's a good way to look at it.
It is.
Okay, so that brings us to purpose number 4.
Okay.
This one really speaks to me personally.
Tell me more.
It's about serving a higher purpose, using our unique gifts to contribute to something greater than ourselves.
One of the most fulfilling purposes, for sure.
And I find this concept of shape that the book introduces so fascinating.
Shape.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely. The book emphasizes that each of us has been intentionally designed with a unique combination of gifts, passions, and experiences that we can use to serve a higher purpose.
Like we're all given a set of tools,
Right.
but figuring out how to use them can be tricky.
It can.
So how do we discover our unique shape?
That's where the book offers some practical guidance.
Like,
It encourages us to reflect on our natural talents, the things that bring us joy, and even past experiences that have shaped us.
so instead of trying to fit into some predefined mold, we should embrace our individuality
Exactly.
and figure out how our unique strengths align with a greater plan.
You got it.
I like that.
It's empowering.
It is.
Now, finally, purpose number 5 is all about our mission in this life.
Our mission.
Yes.
Okay.
The book suggests that we each have a unique purpose and a responsibility to share our gifts with the world.
It's about making a difference.
It is.
This reminds me of something my father used to say.
Oh, what's that?
He was a preacher and had a deep passion for service. He used to say, "Gotta save one more for Jesus."
Wow, that's beautiful.
It was his way of expressing this mission to spread love and compassion even in his final days as he was battling illness.
That's powerful.
These words kept coming back to him. It was like his purpose was so ingrained in his being that it couldn't be silenced.
That speaks to the heart of this fifth purpose, to live a life that reflects a higher love and to share that love with others.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our actions have the power to ripple outward and create positive change.
You've captured it perfectly.
And when we weave these 5 purposes together, it creates a beautiful tapestry of a purpose-driven life.
It does.
A life lived in alignment with the greater plan.
Yes.
One that brings meaning and fulfillment not only to ourselves, but to the world around us.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is.
Now that we've explored those 5 core purposes.
Right, those were really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious how we actually put them into practice.
Yeah, how do we live them out?
Exactly.
The purpose-driven life gets really insightful here.
Oh, good.
It goes beyond just defining purpose and dives into actually living a purpose-driven life.
I like that.
Practical advice.
Yeah. What are some of those practical takeaways?
Well, one of the biggest themes is developing a deep personal connection with a higher power.
So less about religion, more about a heart-to-heart connection.
Exactly. It's not about rules or rituals.
Okay.
It's about nurturing a real relationship
I like that.
based on honesty and trust.
Okay. So how do we actually cultivate that?
One thing the book emphasizes is honesty.
Oh, that's refreshing.
It is.
Instead of pretending to be perfect.
Right, being real about our doubts and fears.
Yeah, we don't have to have it all together.
Exactly. We can be authentic.
I like that.
True intimacy comes from vulnerability.
It takes the pressure off.
It does.
What other insights does the book offer?
Well, it talks about cultivating a sense of trust.
Okay.
Not just in ourselves,
Uh-huh.
but in a plan beyond our own understanding.
Surrendering to something bigger.
Leaning into faith, even when things don't make sense.
That can be hard,
It can be.
especially when we're facing challenges.
Absolutely. But the book reminds us that even difficult experiences can be part of a larger journey.
I like that.
And beyond dedicated moments of reflection, the book encourages us to invite this presence into every aspect of our lives.
So it's not just about prayer or meditation.
No, it's about living with a constant awareness of this connection.
Bringing that sense of purpose into everything we do.
Exactly. Our work, our relationships, even the mundane tasks.
That's a great point.
It is.
What about those times when we feel disconnected, though?
Ah, yes. The dark night of the soul.
Yeah, it's like our prayers are hitting a ceiling.
Exactly. We feel alone and lost.
The book addresses that, right?
It does. It acknowledges that these periods of doubt are normal.
Thank goodness.
It's all part of the journey.
So what advice does it offer for dealing with those feelings?
Well, it encourages us to be honest about our pain,
Okay.
to acknowledge our confusion,
Right.
but to remember that even in darkness, we're not truly alone.
That's reassuring.
And it uses the example of Job.
Oh, yeah. Job went through a lot.
He did, but he never lost his faith.
That's inspiring.
It is.
So true faith isn't about never having doubts. It's about choosing to believe even when we can't see the bigger picture.
Exactly. And that's a powerful reminder for all of us.
It is.
Another key insight from the purpose-driven life
Okay, what's that?
is the emphasis on spiritual growth.
So it's not enough to just know about these things.
Right.
We have to actually apply them.
Let them transform us.
Yes. And the book uses a great analogy to explain this.
Oh, yeah, the tomato analogy.
Exactly.
Remind me of that.
It compares spiritual growth to the difference between gas-ripened tomatoes and vine-ripened tomatoes.
Okay.
The gas-ripened ones might look red,
Right.
but they lack the flavor.
That depth.
Yes, that comes from slowly ripening on the vine.
Soaking up the nutrients from the soil.
Exactly.
And the sunshine.
It takes time and nourishment.
Just like spiritual growth.
Precisely.
It's a process.
It is.
Not a destination.
We have to be patient with ourselves.
And trust the process.
Exactly.
So we've talked about connecting with a higher power and spiritual growth. What else? Well, the book also emphasizes the importance of using our unique gifts to serve others.
Right. That shape we talked about.
Yes, each of us has something special to offer.
And it's not just about our talents and skill.
No, it's about our experiences too.
Even our struggles.
Exactly.
Our greatest ministry often comes out of our greatest hurt.
That's a powerful idea.
It is, because when we're willing to be vulnerable
Yes.
and share our stories,
It can be so healing for others.
it reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles.
Exactly. And that's a beautiful thing.
It is. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the purpose-driven life, what are some key takeaways for listeners?
You know, one thing that really stands out is this idea of creating a personal purpose statement.
A purpose statement.
Yeah.
Like a mission statement for our lives.
Exactly. It captures the essence of our purpose, the why behind our actions.
I like that. How do we actually create one of those?
The book suggests we ask ourselves some key questions.
Like what?
Well, things like, what will be at the center of my life? What kind of character do I want to develop? What contributions do I want to make to the world?
Big questions.
They are, but so important.
They are.
It also asks, how do I want to communicate my purpose? And who do I want to share this journey with?
Wow, those are some profound reflections.
Yeah, it really gets you thinking.
It does.
And the cool thing is, a purpose statement isn't static.
It can evolve.
Right. It can
Wow.
change as we grow and learn.
So it's like a living document.
Exactly. A compass that guides us on our journey.
I love that analogy.
And the book suggests revisiting it regularly.
Makes sense keeping it fresh and relevant.
Exactly.
So beyond the purpose statement, what else can we do?
Well, the book also emphasizes finding a spiritual partner or a supportive community.
Oh yeah, that sense of belonging.
Exactly.
Having people to encourage us,
And to challenge
to
us.
celebrate with us.
It makes the journey so much richer.
It does.
And then finally, the book encourages us to keep a spiritual journal.
A journal.
Yeah.
What for?
Just a place to record our thoughts and insights.
Oh, like a treasure chest of wisdom.
Exactly. You can look back and see how far you've come.
I love that.
It's amazing to see how much we grow and learn over time.
It is. So if there's one thing listeners should take away from this deep dive,
What would it be?
what would it be?
I think it's this. You were created for a reason. Your life has meaning.
Absolutely.
And while the journey might be tough at times,
There will be challenges.
there will be, but it's filled with so much potential.
For growth,
Connection.
contribution.
Embrace the journey, trust the process, and live each day with intention and purpose.
Wonderful advice to end on.
It is.
To our listeners, remember those powerful words from The Purpose-Driven Life?
Oh, yes.
Living with purpose is the only way to truly live.
So true.
Embrace your unique gifts, make a difference, and never stop exploring the incredible potential that lies within you.
That's what it's all about.